To say that the technological landscape has changed would be a bit of an understatement. Over the last year, we've seen more and more people depend on their technology, from groceries or takeout directly from their phones to repurposing traditional meeting apps to stay in touch with loved ones across the globe. And we aren't just seeing this dependency on a personal level. Many, if not all of us, have continued to be part of a remote workforce and have become even more reliant on our tools to stay connected and productive with our teams. So it's not surprising that the products we use every day are experiencing unprecedented levels of user traffic. Yet we still expect our technology to work the way it always has. I'll be the first one to tell you, I hate slow load times. They drive me crazy. But this means that as the teams that are building this technology, we need to continue prioritizing the performance and scale of our products, and not only maintain their current levels, but also continue to invest further. And that's why I want to share how Atlassian is investing in the performance and scale needs of our enterprise customers. My name is Gabby Cardona, and I'm a technical product marketing manager on the enterprise marketing team here at Atlassian. Over the course of my career, I've had the opportunity to work across all kinds of technology, from databases to IT asset management, to now working on collaboration tools. These experiences have given me the opportunity to dive in and explore the challenges that enterprises face across a broad range of areas. So today, what I'd like to do is talk about the challenges that you're facing as an enterprise at scale, and then talk about how Atlassian is approaching these challenges in both our cloud, Atlassian SaaS offering, and data center, our self-managed enterprise edition. The goal of any enterprise is to deliver value to your customers. To do this, you are consistently making changes. Maybe that's adding new teammates or building new teams in locations that are closer to your customers, or even getting more people to use the same products. However, you probably started to notice that your products didn't perform the way they used to. The data in your instance was consuming too many resources, and your infrastructure isn't set up to handle the level of scale you have. Your teams have a hard time using your products, which ultimately makes it difficult for you to deliver value to your customers efficiently and effectively. And just like all of you, we're scaling at Atlassian. We're facing the same challenges that you are, and we're using our shared experience to build capabilities to overcome these challenges across both of our deployments. So now that we've talked a little bit about the challenges, let's get right into it and see what we're doing in cloud. Many of you have a cloud-first strategy. So we've adopted a cloud-first strategy to better support you. With our cloud products, we host and manage them for you, from their infrastructure to their reliability, availability, and performance. We take on the administration of your products for you. So there isn't going to be a setting you need to enable to get better performance, or an infrastructure change you're going to need to make to better support scale. We're doing all of this, making these enhancements in the platform ourselves. So this allows you to spend more time innovating and becoming a more strategic partner. That's the value of SaaS. But moving to SaaS isn't just for admin benefits. We're also looking at how we build better products to support all of your teams, because everyone in your organization is key to delivering value to your customers. So with that in mind, we look at performance and scalability in your products like this. So can my teams efficiently and effectively use their products? And can my products scale? Now, I know some of y'all may be math fans, so we can look at that as a math equation. So we have productive teams plus meeting your organizational scale needs equals delivering that value to customers. But how do we know what a productive team looks like? Well, it isn't me, it isn't Atlassian defining what productivity looks like for your teams. We're actually learning from you. By using the Atlassian platform, we're able to aggregate user patterns from over 150,000 customers to understand how you work and how your teams interact at scale. And we take that insight and we prioritize change so that we can make that to our platform and products to make sure that your teams can do their best work. And providing your teams with the best experience is something we will continue to invest in heavily. For example, your teams care about how long it takes for your products to load. So we've been working on improving the load time in 2 areas. So first is initial load. And that's the time it takes for your products to load for the very first time in a new browser tab. And subsequent load. To improve these load times, a large focus for us has been building out a single page application or SPA framework. SPA allows for a more efficient subsequent load because the browser only needs to process incremental changes for each user interaction. So that means after you open Jira or Confluence for the first time in your browser, navigating and using apps will be faster. By reducing the bundle sizes and building out that SPA framework, we're already seeing faster load times across several areas. In the last 6 months, we've seen Jira backlogs are 25% faster, Jira boards are 30% faster, loading a Confluence page initially is 30% faster, creating a Jira issue is 38% faster, and the load button is 60% faster. And because your teams aren't waiting around for a page to load, you can continue to move faster and remain productive with your products. And we're going to continue to keep your teams productive by prioritizing improvements in this area. So using July 2020 as a benchmark, our goal is to continue improving load times. So we're aiming to have 50% faster load times for Jira boards, backlogs, issues, and dashboards by July 2021. With the other performance enhancements we're making in our products between 0.5 to 2 times faster. And now that we've checked off these team level improvements in our equation, we can look at the organizational piece. And this is really where plans are going to come into play. As an enterprise, our premium and enterprise cloud plans are built to meet your scale needs. Now, I'm not going to get into all of the reasons why you would pick one plan versus another. But from a scale perspective, premium is a great option if you have under 1,000 users. And enterprise is a great option if you have over 1,000 users and you have more complex needs like reliability. Regardless of the plan you pick, your products need to be physically capable of supporting your teams at scale, period. And with Premium and Enterprise Cloud, you can run 10,000 users per instance, and that number is actively growing. We're currently running an early access program for 20,000 users, which we plan to make generally available later this year. And we have plans to increase this with 35,000 users by 2022. This is huge. We've increased this number 5-fold since 2018 when we had 2,000 users per instance. But what if you have more than 20,000 people? Does that mean you can't use our cloud products? The answer is no. I'd like you to take a moment and ask yourself, do you need all of your teams on one instance? Or did you consolidate because you wanted to standardize your organization on one platform and it was easier to do that with one instance? It's not uncommon to consolidate your instances, especially when you're hosting and running your products in a self-managed environment. In fact, I actually wrote a blog on this topic not that long ago. It's challenging between inheriting instances through acquisitions or just having multiple instances that your teams adopted outside of your procurement process. In fact, many enterprises, including those already using our cloud products, have seen value with teams running in a multi-instance environment. And with Cloud Enterprise, you unlock unlimited instances. And since we've taken the administrative duties off your shoulders, running in this type of environment enables different teams in your organization to operate autonomously without adding the complexity admins in a self-managed environment experience when they're running multiple instances. Now you can customize an instance to fit a team's unique needs, such as adding a specific app, all of which without impacting other people in your organization while standardizing on the same platform. These environments allow you to keep your data segregated, so you can have an instance in different regions depending on your compliance needs. Plus, you can keep your instances separated across teams. So say you have certain information that needs to stay within sales, they can have their own instance. So if we return back to our equation, you can see that we've solved for that organizational scale piece by applying the right plan. So that, coupled with the performance enhancements we're making for your teams, will help you deliver that value to your customers faster. And cloud is great for many enterprises. But what if you have strict compliance and regulatory requirements, or your needs just aren't met in cloud today? If this is your organization, don't worry, we have our data center products. Now, I know many of you probably instantly think high availability when I reference data center. And while that is certainly a benefit of using data center, you do not have to deploy your products in a cluster to get the performance and scale benefits that we're building in the products. So when we look at performance and scale, we actually think about it as a pyramid, with each layer of the pyramid providing capabilities that are critical the larger your enterprise gets. And this framework allows us to think about how everything fits together and how we can help you achieve your best performance at scale. So let's dive in and break the pyramid down a bit more. So to start with your base, we have your environment, or the environment you're using to run your products. And without a strong foundation, it can be difficult to achieve that optimal state of performance. Each and every one of you has your own needs. So your environments are all going to take on different shapes. To help you build a foundation, we've created our hardware and environmental configuration guides. These guides provide recommendations on things like how to size your nodes or how to structure your infrastructure, depending on the load profile size of your data. But as we said earlier, your organization is going to have to adapt to meet the needs of your customers. So monitoring the performance of your products is critical. And if you need help building a monitoring strategy, don't fret. We have a monitoring guide to help as well. So on top of that foundation, the products that you're using need to be capable of scaling. So it should come as no surprise, the next layer in our pyramid is platform scaling. This is where we address your core availability, performance, and scalability needs. And these capabilities are built directly into the platform of our data center products. So for example, as your organization grows, the amount of time it takes to reindex your instance increases because you've accumulated much more data. So we've done things like tuned custom fields in Jira software to help reduce the amount of time it takes to reindex, and we actually reduced it by 50%. Now, the first two layers we talked about are important to any organization. But as you start to scale and mature, you need more capabilities that allow you to customize your environment based on your unique needs. So the next layer is what we call instance controls. These are a set of tools that allow you to do just that, customize your environment. And we break these down into two areas, so protection and hygiene and data management. Let's start with protection. So in this context, protection means protecting your instance from instabilities and abuse. As more of your teams are standardizing on your Atlassian products, they need to be able to access their products whenever they need them, but they also need to be able to do so securely. And at scale, that can be challenging. So we've focused on building functionality that takes both into account. Some examples are rate limiting, which you can use to control the number of external REST API requests that are made to your instance, and that will help reduce that instability. Or advanced auditing, which will give you a digital record of the events that occurred within your instance, giving you the ability to be more proactive. Now, on to data management and hygiene, which is one of my personal favorites. As the name implies, the capabilities in this subcategory allow you to clean up and manage your data within your instance. Many of you have been using your Atlassian products for a long time, which is good. That means that your products are doing their job and making it easier for you to do yours. But that also means that you've accumulated a lot of data over the years. And let's be honest, you probably don't need all of it. At the infrastructure level, having too much data can have an impact on your database, disk space, and make reindexing take way longer. And just on a person level, it makes it really hard to find what you're looking for and does lead to slow performance in your products. Many of you are familiar with project and issue archiving and the custom field optimizer available in Jira Software Data Center. Well, we're making it even easier to clean up your custom fields. Now you'll be able to do context setting by default, and you can quickly identify custom fields with a global context and update and remove that context. And in Confluence, we're giving you the ability to reduce the total number of page and attachment versions, which will help your teams find the content they need faster. And as a bonus, it will also help decrease the size of your index. And last, but certainly not least, we're making repo management easier for you in Bitbucket. First, we have automatic decline of stale pull requests, which will help you reduce all of those old PRs that are taking up space on your instance. We're also enabling you to remove unused repos from your instance. Super fun, right? And now for the final layer of our pyramid, scale and performance controls. These are the advanced settings built to meet the needs of our largest, most sophisticated data center customers. Okay, now we can talk about HA. Again, deploying data center in a cluster is not a requirement. In fact, you get all of the other capabilities and enhancements that I've mentioned in this presentation without it. But if you do need to keep your products available at all times and you can't afford downtime, deploying data center in a clustered architecture will enable you to do that and continue to make them perform at scale. And we've added capabilities to make it easier for you to administer a cluster as well. So things like cluster monitoring in Jira software, which automatically kills stale nodes, or manage synchrony nodes, where Confluence will launch a synchrony process on the same node and manage it for you. But architecture is just a piece. Part of supporting your teams is supporting your geo-distributed teams. So we've built CDN support directly into the platform. So you'll not only accelerate the experience for those distributed teams, but you'll also reduce peak load time on your primary application and boost performance all around. If you have Bitbucket, you can similarly use smart mirrors, which allow you to set up live mirrors that host copies of your repositories in remote locations. And if you're a team in one of those remote locations, you can clone and fetch those repositories from the mirror and get identical content only faster. If you have Bitbucket, we similarly offer smart mirrors, which allow you to set up live mirrors that host copies of repositories in remote locations. So if you have teams in those locations, they can clone and fetch a repository from the mirror and get identical content only faster. Ultimately, the way you scale your products in a self-managed environment is dependent on your needs. And that's a key part of the pyramid. How you interact with the different layers is up to you. So in our brief time together, we've been able to talk about the challenges you face and how Atlassian is approaching those challenges in both our cloud and data center products. While I wish I could keep chatting with y'all, I unfortunately have to stick to my time slot. So here are some resources that will help you dive into some of the features I've highlighted today. All right, so these are some of the top resources on the cloud side. So first and foremost, we have the Reliability and Performance group on Community, where you can chat with your peers or the Atlassian team and answer questions and get answers to your questions. We also have our recent performance blog, and you can learn more about that SPA framework that I talked about and how we've optimized the page load times in Jira Software and Confluence. And if you're interested in getting into more of those technical aspects of performance, you can check out this engineering blog where we talk about the JQL improvements we've made in cloud. And from the data center side, as I mentioned, you can check out our hardware and environmental configuration guides to learn more about how you can set up your self-managed environment to better support your scale needs. We also recently published our Performance and Scale Yearly Review, where we highlight what we've done to make our platform scaling better. And last, but certainly not least, We have this handy infographic that gives some tips and recommendations on how to optimize the performance of your data center product and talks a little bit more about some of the features we covered today. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope that you walk away from this talk with an understanding of how Atlassian is thinking about your performance and scale needs, and that you feel confident that we will continue to deliver value in this space. While I wasn't able to take you through individual features today, I encourage you to check out the resources that I shared on the previous slides.